because of my love of Michael and what he's doing for so many people all around the world. And when I look at an audience like this, I just think of all the information that you've achieved today at no cost to you because of this man. Now, I've said this before, and it's true. I'm Irish, so most of my life I drank everything but water. And I was introduced to this product totally by accident. I was walking the beach in Manhattan Beach with a young lady that I've been caring for 28 years. And this book is the journey of her recovery. Listen closely. She was a snowmobile accident. She was a client of mine. In my business world, I help people get what they want. I mentor people. This young lady, Donna, was the 16th ranked salesperson for Kodak when I met her. And she had the same qualities as Michael. And so I said to her, with a little bit of fine-tuning, perhaps I can get you to be #1 in the nation for Kodak in sales and marketing. She achieved that goal. She went with me on a business trip to Montana because she wanted to visit all 50 states before her brother. It was kind of a competition. I was flying to Montana for 1 day. She overheard the conversation, and I was going up there to kill a business deal that my client made that was poorly done. She asked if she could come along, and I said yes. While I was in closing this transaction 80 miles outside of Missoula, Montana, in the outback, she went snowmobiling. She had an accident. She was unconscious. Listen closely. She was unconscious for 48 days. Not hours, not weeks. 48. The medical community gave up. Her family gave up, and they were warehousing her for life. I went to see where they were going to put her, and it was so sad, I said to her family, give her to me, and let me see what I can do with her. If I'm unsuccessful, I'll acquiesce to your request, and then you can put her away. Now that process, the accident happened in Montana. Eventually I got a hospital airplane and flew her to Connecticut where she lived. And I kept commuting from Beverly Hills. I was the general manager of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel in Beverly Hills. And for her recovery, I went back to Connecticut, picked her up, and brought her back to Manhattan Beach, where I had a home. And we began the process of her recovery. She had to learn to walk, talk, read, write. No memory. We had to take the stove out of the house because we were afraid she'd turn on the stove and not remember that she did it. When a person recovers from a brain injury like that, they're more difficult than a newborn baby. A baby will touch something hot and won't touch it again. But if you've had a brain injury, you have a very short-term memory, so you'll touch it again. So it was a 24-hour-a-day job just protecting her from herself. I put together an A team of people who helped me get her physically back, and psychiatrists to help with her emotions. But there was still this enormous fog in her brain. Enormous fog. During the 20-year recovery period, she would not drink water. Now, your brain's 85% water, so that means her brain is shrinking and closing off pathways. And I tried everything to get her to drink all of these waters here that Michael speaks of. And because she was unconscious for 48 days, I made an assumption that, well, we've had tubes in her mouth, we've had tubes down her nose, we've probably scarred tissue, all that so poorly that the very idea of swallowing is painful. That wasn't true. I'm walking the beach in Manhattan Beach, and people watched her recovery over all the years and me supporting her, and they used to give us the thumbs up. And so we kind of became like part of the Manhattan Beach community. As I was walking the beach, Bob Gerdelli, who I didn't know, was on Dr. Dave Lessman's patio drinking out of a nice, pretty blue bottle. And as I walked by, I said, "What's in the bottle?" And Bob Gerdelli said, Kangen water. And I said, "Well, I know a lot about water," which I thought. And I said, "But I never heard of it." And he said, "Why don't you come on in and have a glass?" We're at Dr. Dave Lessman's house, the glass house on the beach. They don't know anything about Donna. Never heard of her, didn't know me, didn't know Donna. We walk into the house. Dr. Dave pours her a glass of water and one for me. For the first time in 20-some years, she drinks this glass of water straight down.
Wow.
I look at Dr. Dave and I said, "She doesn't drink water." He said, "Well, she'll drink this water." Because then I shared the story. And he said, "Jim, the small clusters have made it possible for her to ingest this water and enjoy it."
Yeah.
I said, "What the hell is a small cluster?" So this story is a true, beautiful story. Here's where it starts to get good. And I said, "Well, Dave, that's amazing." And he said, "Oh, no. And I said, I'm going back to the Midwest tomorrow. I live at the University of Notre Dame. And every time I come into this community, I come up here on behalf of the Bible. If I'm in town and he wants me to speak to one person, I'm pleased to do it." So Dave said, "Well, where's Donna live?" And Dave lives on 7th, Donna lives on 14th. I said, "Well, she's 1401 Manhattan Avenue." He said, "I'll supply water for her." The humanity, the warmth, the imagination of these people blows me away. The next morning, I'm leaving for LAX. Almost forgot about that conversation with Dave. He pulls up in a BMW convertible with a backseat full of water. And as I'm going to LAX, he's loading up Donna's kitchen with water. He had no idea who I was, what I would do, I own 3 machines. But he didn't know that. And it didn't matter to him. Like him, he's telling you something that's good for you. So today, Donna tortures me with water. And I'm not kidding. In the morning, I wake up, she says, here's a glass of water. Okay, so I drank this water. Here's another glass. This is the girl who wouldn't drink any water. She drinks a gallon a day. It began to hydrate her brain. She said to me, after she was on the water 6 months, she said, "Jimmy, visualize a tight fist slowly opening." She said, "That's what I'm feeling in my brain." Well, this has enhanced her memory. This has enhanced her visualization, something that they generally don't get back. This has enhanced her organization. And every year, because she is on disability, government plan, part of the recovery money, we have to take her back to the neurologist at UCLA to get him to sign a document that Donna still has challenges. And before he signs it, he says, in the early years, he said, "Donna, I'm going to put in here things, and it doesn't read very well, but it'll ensure your government income." Well, now we go to him. And he does those routine tests. If any of you know, you touch your nose and you do this, and every time he looks at me and he says, Jimmy, nobody gets that back. Nobody. That's his song for the last 5 years. Every time. Nobody gets that back. Now, remember, this is a 20-some-year relationship with Dr. Barry Ludwig, who's the #1 neurologist at UCLA and considered to be the best in the world. And just so we know about doctors, all of us have heard this, I'll say, what can I do differently? And he'll say, Jimmy, I don't have words for you. And I said to him, well, the thing we did differently, Dr. Ludwig, is we put her on alkaline ionized Kangen water. Now bear in mind, he has said, nobody gets that back. Nobody gets that back. You know what he said to me? Good friend, knowledgeable guy. He said, don't give her too much. I said, okay. But even the best in the world, seeing the best results, are still a little shaky about water because they weren't educated. If they came here for one visit with him, they would understand. And so this water changed this young woman's life, which in turn changed my life. So what used to be a grind for me and a challenge to support, I always used to tell her years ago, someday you'll be taking care of me, because she felt guilty, taking a lot of my time. Well, that time is here. She waters me down now. And so you've had a marvelous introduction to this water through this man. This water works, and it'll work for anybody and everybody. And find a way to get a machine. If you have to do it in a team of people to get started, whatever it takes. For me, the very idea that I don't deal with plastic anymore, it's just so enlightening, that you no longer have to. My wife brought me home lunch. It was in a plastic container. So I ate the lunch. Then I found myself standing in the middle of the kitchen holding this plastic, like, what the hell do we do with this stuff? And so it strikes everybody in different ways, but it's all good all the time. And if your brain's 85% water and you're not hydrating it, you're doing yourself a disservice, which is eventually will be a disservice to others who know and love you. So thank you for your time.